What's going on, everyone? We're back for another We're Racing video. And of course, it's been a while. So we're talking the Austrian Grand Prix, first of all. What a race we had. After them dull past few races, everyone talking about we need to change the whole concept of our sport and everything. This one really came to the boil, and it was a great spectacle in the hills of Austria. A great Grand Prix. We had a great qualifying, some drama there. We saw the Ferrari down the field. We saw the Haas come up into P5. How would that fare in the race? But yeah, a real interesting dynamic. Mercedes not really turning on their car and not really getting the performance which they've dominated so far. It's the higher ambient and track temperature, which is really hurting the Mercedes because they're running so limited on terms of cooling. But this is where these two teams are really coming into it. And it was Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc, the youngest front row of history, I do believe. And Lewis Hamilton had a penalty which was imposed on him for something that happened earlier in practice. And yeah, as we can see, 51 track temperature and 33 ambient. So really suffering with the Mercs there. But a great start from Charles Leclerc down into turn one. Mercedes a pretty solid start as well, you must say. Lando Norris looking really punchy there, looking to gain positions, which he did. And getting on the exit, he got up alongside Lewis and they had a drag race all the way down into that tight right-hand turn. And great to see Lando Norris cutting his teeth with these people on the opening laps, the likes of him, Kimi Raikkonen as well, having a good scrap on track. But Charles Leclerc, he looked pretty solid from the start, got away, had good pace, managed it over Bottas and Lewis Hamilton. And yeah, was really in a comfortable place, you must say. Here we can see Lando Norris going wheel to wheel with Lewis Hamilton. And here we can see the rest of the field coming up in the opening lap of the Grand Prix. The Haas falling like a stone. The Renault's not particularly there at the races today. We'll get into them in a bit more coming up. And the Racing Point as well, not really performing. It was the turn of the Alpha in this Grand Prix. McLaren, which have been there all season, you must say. And it was up to Verstappen off the line, got a terrible start, completely terrible start, and had to work his way up so many positions. He dropped back to P8, was running alongside his teammate, behind his teammate, I think, managed to get past him, get the lead of the Grand Prix, and lap your teammate. Now, for Pierre Gasly, that is major damage in terms of reputation. And in the final stages of the Grand Prix, we saw this little racing incident between Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc. They've been very respectful in the laps coming up to it, going side by side, but it was Max Verstappen who really just got his elbows out into that corner there, took his line, just forced Charles Leclerc off, which was later to be found to be a legal move and kept the win. First win for Honda. Great to see the Honda boys up on the podium, celebrating Max Verstappen, saluting the badge as well, and grabbing back-to-back Austrian Grand Prix. Is that, as you can see, what it means, the emotion in the face there. It's incredible. Charles Leclerc, on the other hand, terribly disappointed. He was on for his first win, been running solid, good pace throughout the weekend, probably the best driver in terms of overall pace. And yeah, just didn't wrap it up. So it finished Verstappen, Leclerc, Bottas, Vettel, Hamilton, Norris, Gasly, Sainz, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi with his first point. Great achievement there. Perez, Ricciardo, Hulkenberg, Stroll, Albon, Grosjean, Kvyat, Russell, and Magnussen all finished outside the points, as well as Kubica there. And as you can see, a Williams finished ahead of a Haas. Really, the Haas is a terrible performing car at this minute, you must say. Really, the underachievers of the season so far, even compared to Williams, I would have to add. And what is going to happen in the next races? I hope we see these two side by side on track. Max Verstappen got the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, 107.4. And Honda, they got number one, baby. Great to see them back amongst the winning constructors. Mercedes with 363 to Ferrari's 228 points. But it was a great day for the Dutch fans, which treat this like a home Grand Prix. The fastest pit stop award went to the Williams boys with a Kubica, so 2.02 seconds. That's unbelievable. Slowest car, but fastest in the pits. You've got to make it up somehow, I suppose. But yeah, a great day for Max Verstappen. I was disappointed initially with the result. I felt Charles Leclerc, I wanted him to win more than he should have won in that situation. I think it was fair. I think it was racing. I've been looking at like races gone by in previous years, and that would be given all day, like that sort of argy-bargy on track. That's what racing is defined as. But yeah, I think here we can see the age difference here, seeing them both up on the podium there. I think Max Verstappen is going to go on to dominate. He's broken so many records already, and he's in a prime position with this partnership of Honda and Red Bull to be a number one driver in a manufacturing leading car. And I think Honda might show more interest in Mercedes. How long can they keep this up for? But Pierre Gasly, oh, I wasn't questioning him before this race particularly. I was giving him time, but this is a really damaging performance. There wasn't anything fundamentally wrong with his car. He shouldn't have been that much slower, but inevitably it was. His seat must be coming under question right about now. This is coming up to the summer break when contracts are negotiated for the following year. Who do you expect to see in the Red Bull in 2020? I'm not going to bet, but let's say Alexander Albon, love to see that. So thanks, of course, to Max for a great drive, and to Aston Martin Red Bull Racing providing him with such a fantastic car. We must not forget the great contribution made by Scuderia Toro Rosso, who helped us get back on the right path last year. Honda has not done this alone, so we want to acknowledge the contribution of our outside suppliers. So Tanabe with some kind words there, and it's been a long time coming. All them years of hurt with McLaren, them derogatory terms thrown at them with their GP2 engine, etc. So yeah, great to see Honda up in the winning position once again. But some great on-track action in this Grand Prix. We had the likes of Max Verstappen going up against everyone and everyone. You know, after coming back from P8 after that terrible start, Pierre said, "There is work to do. I want to deliver more, and I know I can. So we need to work." Can't even understand this kid. What do you think is going to happen with him? I hope he sees the season out and gets his chance. All weekend, the car has felt competitive, and also from the engine side, we have worked really well with Honda, says Max Verstappen. And of course, the car's feeling pretty sweet right now. Got into the sweet spot and got that victory, baby. It was the fastest on track by a mile. Managed the performance of his tyres and just his overall car. So great credit where it's due. And Charles Leclerc, keep your chin up. That's 18 points there. P2. Where did your teammate finish? Exactly. So, you know, Sebastian Vettel, you know, he was there or thereabouts, but he couldn't fundamentally challenge at Max Verstappen, for instance. He did get that pass on Lewis, which was quite good to see. So some good racing out there. The Merc boys needs to bounce back. Silverstone should suit them a bit more, you'd say, with the high-speed, medium downforce kind of configuration. I think they'll be all right there. It just depends on what kind of track temperature it'll be. It'll be around 23 degrees we expect on ambient, so don't expect Merc to be off pace like they have been not today, but in this Grand Prix. So Bottas says, I think we made the most of it today. We expected the race to be tricky, but it turned out to be even more difficult than we predicted. So he done the best out of the two Merc boys in terms of managing his car, getting the most performance out of it. Lewis Hamilton damaged his front wing, which we saw a moment ago. Apparently I think the flap adjuster or something like that, and it was affecting his overall downforce on the front of the car. They couldn't adjust it or something. So great performance from the McLaren boys. Great qualifying from Lando and Carlos Sainz. P18 coming up to where was it? Where did he finish? P8, I think it was. A great performance there from him. So yeah, great credit to Carlos Sainz. Who is your driver of the day? Robert Kubica got voted driver of the day, which was quite a random one. So let me know your thoughts on that. Did you vote for Robert Kubica, or was that just a fuck up on the F1 management side? Kimi Räikkönen, good race today. He was there or thereabouts. He managed to have a few little battles on track. He must have enjoyed that. The Renaults looking really off pace. Their upgrades don't seem to have worked on these particular tracks. So it was a tougher weekend for sure. From lap 1 today, it was tricky, he was saying. So I don't expect to see a great comeback in Silverstone. They might be at the front of the midfield, behind the likes of the McLaren, potentially Alfa Romeo back up there as well. Alexander Albon, I'd like to get onto him. He's had a fantastic start to this season, into his F1 debut season. Really credit there. I hope he has a strong Grand Prix at his home, but technically not home race, but at Silverstone. I hope he has a good Grand Prix. Racing Point, hope to see some more updates coming there. The Williams boys, they're sort of closing the gap slightly, ever so slightly. Then pit stops are certainly helping when we see some of the top teams running 3-second stops. You know, they're gaining a second on some teams there. But, yeah, what do you think of them? Are we going to see them finish comfortably, like logically in front of another car this season? What's your opinions on that? talking of racing, Silverstone next weekend. I'll be there at the Grand Prix. I'll be doing some videos. I'll be doing it through the Facebook forum though. So get onto F1 2019 discussion group and listen in, watching, and yeah, get some side track action with me, thoughts and opinions on the Grand Prix. We'll be there live from Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So join. I love going to Steiner, but that's not true. This is just a meme page. So we're much quicker than the fucking stewards today. They took 2 to 3 hours or something like that to come up with the decision of the Grand Prix. So I think that really tries to kill the vibe of the win amongst the team as well. There's always that sense of doubt there. So it's pretty shoddy work, I must say. Let me know your thoughts once again. Drop some comments below. Who was your driver of the day? Who made the move of the day? And what do you expect for the upcoming race in Silverstone? And I'll join you again for another video soon. Thanks for watching. Good night.